Yeah, there were two fight-backs. Right before half-time when we scored that try, which possibly we shouldn't have scored. It was against the run of play, and we went into the half-time and we probably had a little bit of momentum. And that's what usually happens to us week in and week out. We usually play an opposition that score right on the half at half-time, so it can really hurt you. And the second half, particularly toward the mid part to the end part, it's been a little bit about how we played. We do tend to come back. We have done 3 out of our last 4 games, so I don't think it's a question of fighting back too late. I think it's a question of playing for 80 minutes. And I know it sounded like a broken record, but my message to the players was to play for 80 minutes. And again, we were unable to do that. And combined with, I think it would have been 12 or 13 errors, you know, we're a long way off our first win after today's performance. Their kicking game is, not only do you have to contest against 13 players, you've got to contest against their kicking game. He kicked us off the park today, as Denis did last week. So, what a quality player. And I understand he's a great bloke too, and he leads his team around. They just lift when he plays.
Oh, it was pretty solid throughout. Very clinical until the last 10 minutes. But we made a couple of changes that last 10-15 minutes, and we just got a little bit soft on them, and that's where you got to give credit to Broncos. Really, they didn't stop coming. They ran really hard throughout the game, made us work really hard for our points all the time. And you know there's a good culture here. And you speak to Joe before the game, their coach, and you know that he's trying to work on cultural things. He's getting things in place for a real solid base to build from, and you can sense that in them. But when you're losing, it's just really hard to break that cycle. And so I think if I'm right, it's 18 at the moment. It's not a nice place to be. No, we've not been in something extreme as that, but when we first had the first year of Super League, we went, I think it was eight games or something like that. That was a tough period of the year to climb out of, building players' confidence, talking about things we were doing well. Now we're not searching for that first win.
Kevin Brown came up with some massive plays.
He's been playing very well, yeah, and he's an international class half. He's playing really, really well at the moment. His control of the game was good, his kicking game's fantastic, passes, running game, and I thought, again today, what was striking about Kev was the fact that he defended really, really well against their probably a really strong side, with a Tillervay on that edge and Drinkwater as well. That's their best edge, and Kev made some real good decisions and defended really, really well. It's a fantastic time for us really to get a couple of those lads back into the game. And Joe's second game was always going to be a bit tough, but I think again some of his decision making was really good today. The running game, he started to build again over this last couple of weeks, and his confidence is going to grow over this next month. And getting Head KO back after a few weeks, he's starting to get a little bit better. We've got a little bit of competition for places as well, which is always good to have, and that's going to lead us well into this last part of the season, really, this last third.
Eddie Flynn went off for about 5 minutes during the first half, and you made 2 changes that time, which meant you had none left after 63 minutes. Was that a concern that you might be using up your subs too soon?
Yeah, it's always, but that's what subs are there for, isn't it, really? Paddy Flynn dislocated his finger. I thought he was being a bit soft, if you ask me, going off and they put back in. But I had to use a substitution there, and like I say, it's a tough one because you lose 2 substitutions in that. That's what subs are for. It's one of those, we've gone away from the fact of what they were actually for. They're there for when players get hurt, they have to come off and you put them back on again. So yeah.
Do you think they'd have an out on the left, on the right wing?
No, not at all. It was just the substitution was there to give Paddy a chance to get his finger right and stick him back on there, because I wanted to rotate Dave and I wanted to push Danny Tickler to the middle, and I wanted to put Dave into the back row, and I wanted to give Danny Galea a bit of a break. So that was in my process at the start. Obviously, when you get to the end, and you get to the game nearly being over, you've run out of subs. It becomes hopefully nobody gets hurt.
Was that why Tickler and Galea and Clark all came off for the final bit?
Yeah, that was just part of the rotation. I thought we'd done enough with the group that we had, and they had a good stint. John Clark had just done about 54 minutes, and Danny Glade had done nearly 60 minutes, and Danny Tickle had done the same, and they just had a good stint, and they wanted to keep the squad and reward the lads that were sat on the bench that played pretty well in the first half to get back out there and play again. But that was hard for them to get back into the grind a little bit, and we dropped off a touch in that last 10, and I was disappointed in that last 10-15 minutes of the game. Defensively on our part, we scored a couple of tries, but defensively I thought we just went a little bit soft.
You've got both full clubs on your heels. How are you feeling about the push of the playoffs now?
I'm happy to be where I am. I'd rather be in front than behind. So yeah, it was good that Huddersfield managed to hold off a fighting Hull KR on Thursday night, which was a relief for us, because, like I say, it keeps them that couple of wins away from us. It is what it is. We just got to do our focus on our. It's hard to say, but you try to. But you always got one eye on the table, and for the players, it's about our performances and knowing that if we can pick up these next 9 games, if we can pick up another 6 to 8 points, I think we can put ourselves in a position where we can make the playoffs. So that's about us doing the right thing and getting those 3-4 wins.
You've got Castle next week, haven't you? That must be one of the games you think you've got to win.
Well, it's our home games as well. We've always thought about our home games being winnable games, and that at the beginning of the year you put that down and looking to hopefully get 2 points out of that. But the way Castle played this year, then who knows what's going to happen. And well, let's say our forms, we've got to play better than we did today against Castleford at home, but our home form is good on the whole. I think we've been disappointed with ourselves a couple of times this year, but our home form is something that we pride ourselves in, and we know that we can raise our game when we do play at home. Like I say, we'll talk about the fact that it doesn't really mean anything, but everybody knows that it does.